Mr. Johnny Yong Bosch.
Why are you guys so far away?
I know, you know what? That's a good point,
What are
Johnny.
you guys doing?
Get up here, get up here. Where do you want to sit, Johnny? You want to sit over there?
I'll sit here.
All right, cool. I'll sit right next to you.
You'll sit there?
Yeah,
I'll sit here.
yeah. First of all, welcome to San Antonio.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. How's San Antonio been treating you?
So far, so good?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this your first time in San Antonio?
No.
No.
No, not my first rodeo.
Ah, dun. Yeah, a little known fact, or maybe it's a big known fact. You actually were raised in Texas.
Yeah.
Garland, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost kind of like a homecoming for you.
Yeah, my sister's out here, and my parents. So
Yeah.
We're close, at least.
You know, talk about
Anyone from New Braunfels? Nope.
Nope. Would it count if I say I visited New Braunfels?
No,
No,
doesn't
it doesn't count. No, but yeah, I'm glad to have you here. No, we got a lot of fans here, a lot of fans itching to be talking about your voice acting, your live acting,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. But, you know, we were signing autographs a little while ago and talking about a small world. You had an old friend from back in the day just hit you over the phone. How was that experience to feel those type of experiences on the road at cons?
That doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't happen actually ever, unless I come to Texas once in a blue moon. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, I probably haven't seen something like that in 10 years, but yeah, that was just cool because it's like a, you know, when I played soccer, you know, as a kid, you know, we had that group photo.
Sure.
And seeing that come across the tables, pretty funny.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you get a lot of experiences.
I mean, I have that same photo, you know.
Oh, you actually have the same photo?
Of course I do.
Wow, that's cool.
I mean, yeah.
The way you looked when they just popped it on you like that. You're like,
yeah,
whoa.
no, I was not expecting that. I was expecting Ichigo or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's get into that. You know, from the Rangers to your voiceover work, you've spanned the gamut. I mean, from one end of the spectrum to another. But from Vash the Stampede to Wolf's Rain, I mean, to Broly, playing roles in Bleach, and the list goes on and on. Just how do you do it? How do you adjust for different genres, different styles, different flows, you know, from anime to, and then your voiceover work?
You just do it. I don't know. There's, I don't know. Yeah, it's. First off, I'm very fortunate to be a part of so many really great franchises.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun, you know, and I enjoy it. So you kind of just do it. You make time for it. You do it. It's just I really don't know how to answer that. I don't think about it too much until I'm there. You know, like whenever I get back, I've got a few sessions. Actually, I'm shooting, but I have sessions. You know, throughout the day. Often, it used to be a lot more, but usually I do like 2 to 3 or 4 sessions in a day. Mm-hmm. And it could be various different shows, you know, and then the show, like if I have to do a younger voice, like I kind of stack it a different way my day, you know, so I might start with the younger voice and then do the older, you know, characters or whatnot, but yeah, I just kind of do it.
This may sound like a very novice question, I'm not, you know, what you do, but you mentioned you started the botnet, you know, you stack your day with the younger voice. Is there like a strategy to that? Like, why is that?
Well, it depends on what is. The only reason I think that, like, I don't always do that.
Okay.
But I would usually do, like, if it needed, like, younger voices, like a clear voice, you know, like a clear sounding kid voice. I could do that first. And then I'll need time, because it's not like I could just change gears and go, you know, because then I'll have to, like, what's the next character, you know? Then I have to do whatever series of warm-ups to change that gear into a lower register, you know, and how low does it need to be?
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of depends. Sometimes, though, it's like I'll have this session, like if I know I need to sound really deep and grovelly, then it's first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock.
Pre-coffee or after
8 o'clock.
coffee?
Well, the coffee is there, but I'm hardly there. But it's like the voice has to like sound like I was chewing on dirt or something, you know. So
you talked about just having fun with it, you know, getting in there. You know,
if you can't have fun with it, what are you doing?
Exactly. But have you ever encountered perhaps a challenging role?
Oh,
one that
all
makes
the
you
time.
really like, okay.
That's part of the fun, though.
Okay.
part of the fun is like discovering the character and trying to like make it come out right, you know, and go like, that's not right. Let me try this again, you know. And then when you find that, it also sometimes it's part of the story.
Sure.
You know, it's like, that's what connects me to this character. Now I can see myself or hear myself, you know, do that. And then you just kind of, you find it, you kind of lock in.
What has been your challenging voiceover role?
I mean, they're all challenging at some point, you know. But the challenging aspect, that's different. It could be like, this is challenging because all I do is scream, you know.
That's what I was thinking about the Broly
this
role
is challenging
you did.
because it's a high young kid voice or whatever. It has to be clear all the time. So it just depends, you know. And sometimes it's, well, this is a really emotional series, and so like having to be able to do the emotion, you know, like it has to live in this kind of vulnerable place where it's like, you're almost on the edge of like exploding or crying, and like you kind of have to carry that there, if you know, and hopefully your director is understanding and doesn't like say too many jokes to kind of take you out of it, and then hang on, I gotta get back, you know.
You played the role with the voice for Broly in Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
I'm
Broly now.
Broly now. You are Broly. Yeah. I did not wear a Dragon Ball Z Goku shirt just for you. I didn't want you to erupt into Broly madness there.
I wouldn't.
But did you know going into that role and there'd be a lot of yelling and screaming and that, you know?
I had an idea.
You had an idea. Can you talk to us about that?
Okay. Well, I had an idea there was going to be a lot of screaming. Okay. So that specific that one came to me in a weird place. Do you know anything about what happened with that?
Oh, the two Brolys, the non-expanded, the non-canon.
Okay, so now you don't know. All right, so someone else had the role, was the voice of Broly, and then there was some drama that happened. And so I got a phone call from someone in Japan, Toei, the company. You know, they were like, they just were feeling it out, you know, and I didn't know what was going on. I just get a random phone call from somebody that I've worked with in the past. And they're like, hey, how would you like to voice Broly? And I'm like, well, I know somebody who's voicing Broly already. And she was like, well, there's been some issues. And so anyways, long story short, that one came with some baggage. And so I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. And so I asked if I could see some clips, you know, of Broly and the version of Broly that they wanted me to look at. And so I went through on my own in the movie, and I just kind of like redubbed it.
Oh, nice.
And then I took clips out and I sent it, and I was like, all right, what do you guys think? And then they're like, yeah, that works.
Nice.
So yeah, I just basically took over from someone else. You know?
Awesome.
But also had to talk to them as well and say, hey, this is a weird situation. I don't want, I'm not, like, it's not my practice to take people's parts, although I did that on my very first role in Power Rangers. But again, not something that was like up to me. It was just, you know, in this case, I guess it was up to me to say yes or no, but it's kind of a strange situation.
Ahead of your appearance right now.
Let me just say this too, because I have so much respect for the franchise and the fans. And so that one I felt like had to be done delicately, you know. And so whatever I do in that, I'm just trying to treat everyone with respect and the character and the story, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, because initially with the non-canon character.
That one's a little trickier because there's a lot more to. I think there's probably been like, I don't know, 6 different Brolys,
different iterations of him. Yeah, exactly. Ahead of your appearance right now, we had a fan in this stand over here, sitting here. She told me, please bring up Vash the Stampede. Please, yes. Yeah. She said, please bring him up. Talk to us about handling that role, knowing how iconic it is, and then you injecting your own style to it.
I didn't know how iconic it was. I mean, when that was the first anime that I did back in '98, and so I just went to an audition. In fact, actually, before that, I was working on a movie with the Japanese stunt guys from Power Rangers, and the audio equipment didn't work with the Japanese camera, and so it was out of sync. So I had to go dub myself. as I was dubbing myself in this movie, the producer walked in, heard my voice, and thought I had a decent hero voice. He happened to be doing some anime stuff and said, "Hey, will you come audition for this thing? We're having trouble finding a voice for this character." And he played me a version of the character that sounded older, and then he played me the Japanese, and it sounded completely different. And he said, "Could you do something like that tone, of the Japanese?" I'm like, "I could try." I auditioned anyways. I got that part for Vash and Trigun, and that was the first anime that I worked on. This really, in Power Rangers we did do VO or ADR, but it was the helmet head, so it wasn't too difficult. We weren't really matching flaps.
Sure.
It was this. Right, come on, okay, yeah, so it didn't matter. I could say whatever. I didn't have to worry about it. But anime, you got to match the flaps. So Trigun, that was school for me. Was voiceover school. And thankfully, Leah Sargent, who was my director, was really great and just kind of guided me, and once we were there and had the character, it was just fun, So coming back, so many years later, Trigun is back. And so I went through and I'm like, oh gosh, let me remember what I did and how I voiced it. Because that was, again, the first thing that I worked on, so I had a very different way of just speaking. And so I went through that, and then I found out that it's very different. It's much darker. It's more serious. It's a little more, I would say a little more real as far as emotionally. And so that was, the heart is still there of Vash. And so I kind of snuck in as much of old school Vash as I could, but this is a new take.
Nice. You've done also voiceover work for the video game industry, for example. I believe you did Bumblebee back in what was that?
War for Cybertron.
Yeah, about 2010. So again, any difference between doing that type of voiceover work for a video game versus animation?
Video games are sometimes different. Again, a lot of times a video game won't have picture.
Okay.
So it's just a script, and you're whoever your director is telling you this is what's happening. So this is why you're screaming, or whatever, and then you usually do a series of attack noises, grunts, and getting hit, and whatever reactions. But then there's a bit of story, and you kind of just you just go through it. I do remember that one though. We had to do. Because it was on different platforms, consoles, and I think there was maybe on, I don't know if it was Nintendo or not, but there was a version that we had to make less violent.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so, because there's one scene where Bumblebee's getting torn apart, and it's you let it go, let it sound like you're being torn apart. And then there was another one, all right, we need to do one where it's not as violent. Okay. But you're still being torn apart?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're less getting destroyed and curb stomped. You've been sprinkling right now about your work with the Rangers, with wearing the mask, and you were talking about your role with the Black Ranger, and everybody knows you for that. But you also held other roles there with them too, being the first Green Turbo Ranger. First Green Turbo Ranger.
Zeo,
and Zeo, all that stuff. Was that, to transition from that original base, to a new era, if you will, what was that transition like? I
was just changing clothes.
Okay, is it?
Yeah, it was not very different.
Not different?
I was the same guy. I was the same character.
Uh-huh.
I got a different power. The different power was really a new suit.
Wow.
That was a different color. And my whole wardrobe changed to green, and then I got a minivan instead of a frog or whatever. So the character is the same character. Although I did get to do a bit more, they started me out as he's the quiet, shy one, and he's still the quiet, shy one, but we're going to give him more things to do. It's just it's the progression of any character in any kind of series.
But to hold the mantle is the first green.
There was Jason Frank was the first Green Ranger,
right?
But you could say I was the only Green Zeo.
Yeah.
But the first Green Turbo,
I think fans appreciate that. They fans appreciate what you've done with.
I don't really mind. I know there's some people that are I need to be the first.
Yeah.
I need to be the OG or whatever it is, and that's fine. I'm just like, I just had a good time.
Yeah.
You know, I loved the show. I enjoyed it. I loved everyone I worked with. And, you know, I'm much more just whatever. You know, I'm just a regular person. I'm not.
I looked at, you know, just your whole entire work throughout the years, and it's impressive, you know, from the voiceover work to the screen to...
Yeah, I don't know how it happened.
Looking back, you say that, but
Yeah,
looking back, you really don't like...
It's a complete accident. First off, the Japanese stunt team from Power Rangers,
Right.
it was like they wanted to do an action film. They decided to say, hey, Johnny, you can do your own stunts. Why don't you come do it?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. That thing so happened the audio didn't work, and then I have to go dub myself in this movie. I've never done that before. And then the producer walks in at that time and hears my voice and thinks I have a decent hero voice. It's a total fluke. Asks me to come audition. I actually get the role. No, this is all an accident. I shouldn't be here. I don't know who. I mean, everything I've done is I tripped and fell into it.
Yeah, well, you know, I wish I had that problem sometimes. You
Well,
know?
I mean, it's like, look, you stumble upon. I mean, it was in front of me. I could have been, which was in my head the whole time. It's like, you're no good. You can't do this. You can never be this. You will never, because it's all the voices of people that said
Sure.
this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, my life. You know, and so, but me, I'm stubborn. I'm like, well, what's going to happen if I try? You know?
Yeah, and I mean, that could be a good life lesson too. Just try. You never know.
It is true.
You never know.
I even go into the audition for Power Rangers. It was like a newspaper. My instructor, my martial arts instructor was like, hey, Johnny, I think you should go to this audition. He knew that I wanted to do that kind of stuff. And so I was like, okay. And so I tried to get some of my friends to go, and they're like, nah. And they're like, dude, we're from Texas. We don't do those things. You know, those are people in California that get
New
to
York,
do that. You know, and I was like, this is what I want to do it. And so one of my friends was like, I'll go with you. And so we went. You know, and we went and auditioned. And it was a long process, but I got that after a while. I ended up, you know, on the show. And a couple of years ago, I was telling this story how I was like, I thought about maybe not doing it because my friends were telling me, you just don't do it. You need to get a real job or whatever. And I remember saying that, and then there's a guy that came to my table afterwards and he was like, man, I saw that same paper, the ad in the paper, and I thought about going, and I just doubted and didn't go. And I was like, yeah, it could have been you, man.
Wow.
Could have been you.
As you put your suit on?
Yeah.
As you put your Black Ranger suit on?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, but I didn't tell him, it's like, you know, I'm the same way. I hear the voice in my head that says like, no, you're not good enough. You can't do it. But maybe that's true, but also maybe you might trip and fall into something, and then, all right, now I'm into voiceover. I'm like, holy cow, voiceover is a thing now. You know, so I was like, I can do this. After Power Rangers, I didn't have a job. I was virtually homeless. I had a broken cot. I had 2 trash bags full of clothes, and I know you think after Power Rangers it'd be like rich. Nope. And I had a guitar, you know, that I was learning how to play, and living wherever people let me live. And not sure what I was going to do. I was like, I don't know if I can act anymore because it's done. No, I couldn't get at that time especially, auditioning, it was like, anytime I was going into an audition, it was for a Chinese guy. You know, and I'm like, I don't know if I didn't look Chinese enough, and it's Caucasian or whatever. I just wasn't getting parts, and so I'm like, I can't do acting anymore. And then thankfully the guys did that movie and asked me to do it. And thankfully the sound guys or something screwed up. And thankfully the producer walked in and was doing, you know, and so once I had the opportunity, I took it. I booked Trigun, and I realized it doesn't matter what I look like. I can play this character with blonde, spiky hair, as long as the emotion is right. And then so I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this now. You know?
And you talk about that moment in your life, you know, you picked up that guitar and everything. You're a musician too.
I started a band.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I believe it's like Where Giants Fall.
Yeah, originally it was I Shine. We changed the name to Where Giants Fall. We got like, I don't know, 15 albums, over 200 songs.
Wow.
But it's like, it was just like, what am I going to do with this, I guess, you know? But that's me, you know?
Right.
You just kind of do what's in front of you, and it's like this. I'm more of like I enjoy creative things, you know.
Right.
So acting or writing, directing, making music, that's all kind of just creative. That's where I enjoy that. Like that's fun for me.
How's the band doing?
Good.
Yeah?
We wrote an intro song for an anime. Yeah, we got probably 30 songs we haven't released yet because we've been busy on other stuff. We're shooting a movie right now. It's not about the band, but my band is actually doing the movie. And we're writing some of the music and stuff. So, yeah, you know.
What anime did y'all write an intro for?
It's called Gabriel and the Guardian. So it's not quite out now. We're currently doing the. Did you see stuff for it?
I heard about
it. Yeah, and so it's a thing that's happening now.
Wow.
So.
I mean, that's such a quick rundown, of your life. How domino effect. One thing affects another.
Yeah, and it wasn't. I mean, it didn't happen quickly.
There's some gaps. We got a little nervous.
Yeah, there's definitely some times where I was like, am I going to eat today? What am I going to do? What do I have to? Because I was in Texas or in California, and I'm like, I might have to go back to Texas and start over. And so, yeah, it was scary, but
here you are
here I am.
at Big Texas Con.
Yeah, but I like to visit small Texas cons too.
Yeah. When you're traveling the con circuit, I'm pretty sure you get. You obviously do. You get flooded with fans who love your work. Talk to you about it at the stage or your desk when you're signing autographs. You look at all the cons you've done. How much of that impact from you, the fan, that you have put in people's lives that still remember you for what your work done, whether it's a ranger or your voiceover, Broly, whatever. I mean, that's really got to impact you on a level that I think I'll never experience.
I wouldn't say that. But how has it impacted?
Yeah, really.
It impacts me every single time.
Yeah.
Every person I meet, everyone has a story, and it's interesting for me. Like, I'm in a booth working on a show. I'm doing whatever I can to make that character feel right in that space and come alive. And this is where I get to find out if I succeeded in that, Like, we worked on Trigun here recently, and we finished that up, and I poured out as much as I could into that, and then it's like you go to the con, like, hopefully they liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's a little scary too. Because then you just lay it out, and you go, hope they liked it.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But I find if I really give it my all, and if as long as I believe it, then there's a good chance people believe the character too.
Right.
And I'm just happy that has been the case for a few of them. It's not always the case.
You mentioned that upcoming anime right now. What else is in the works for you? What else can fans look forward for you in the future?
That I can talk about.
That you can talk about. Yes, put that in there. That you can talk about.
There's probably like 13 things that I'm working on that I can't talk about.
Okay.
The only thing...
I tried, everybody.
What can they look forward to?
What about genres? How about that?
Well, there's more anime.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Little by little.
There's...
Black Clover?
Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer!
I opened
Next
up the
art.
can now.
Well, there is Black Clover...
Careful.
I can't say anything.
If you're hesitating, don't do it.
A Blue Exorcist, I heard, is coming back. So that is awesome. That's going to be, I think, in January.
Okay.
Or at least that's when the sub should be. I think that's what the announcement was. But yeah, I've got stuff coming, kind of across the board. Demon Slayer should be coming back at some point, which I'm really excited about because I'm itching to get back in there and be Gyu.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I'm looking forward to eventually when another season of Trigun happens. Bleach. Anytime we're doing Bleach stuff, I'm still looking at the horizon, hoping that Code Geass rises up. But I'm just kind of waiting, and then Black Clover too. Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for that stuff to come back around because we did the movie on Netflix.
Nice.
But there's stuff that's coming along.
All right, everybody, you want to start lining up for questions? We'll get you about 2-3 minutes. Oh, we don't need 2-3 minutes. They're ready to go, Johnny.
All right, how long do we have in here?
Very like about another 15.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Your name?
Rebecca.
Oh, the mic on?
That is not on.
Here we go. You can come over here and I can put the mic right here next to you. You come here.
Just wondering if there's a character, like maybe less popular or whatever, that if you could, you would like revisit, like see what they're doing, today, or
Like
as
an older
yeah, like since you
character?
voice so many younger characters,
Uh-huh.
like what would this person be doing as an adult or just
Oh.
years later?
Oh gosh. Wait, what would a younger character be? Like younger specifically? Like Yokai Watch? Like what's Nate doing?
Any character that you
Um,
voiced, like who would you want to revisit as like today?
Oh. Well, I am still waiting for more Zora. But Sabo, I'd like to see more Sabo. Gosh, okay, let me think older stuff. Kaneda in Akira. I would like to see, I mean, I don't know if, I guess the question is more like, what would they be doing now as they're older?
Yeah, or like what would you like to see them do?
Then it would be everything. Yeah, I mean, Wolf's Rain, definitely Akira. I'd be, just any of the characters. I mean, there's so many of them that, I just love the franchises and the stories and the worlds that they're in, and so it's kind of just fun to like go and be in that world for a little bit. Like it's fun to go in and be Zora, I enjoy it. It's fun. I would revisit just about any one of them.
Awesome. Thank you for the question.
If you could, it's still not on.
Okay, you come over.
Okay.
See, they're testing it out in my panel.
Okay. If you could be anybody else from Danganronpa, except Hajime and Rentaro, who would you be?
Oh my goodness. But Hajime, well, Rantaro, I'd be spoiling it if I start talking about it too much, but
Yeah.
Hajime, what I liked about Hajime is he lived.
Yeah.
You continue working.
So I like to be characters that live, unless they die in a good way. I don't know. I like the characters. I don't know that I would choose any other characters than the ones that, even Rantaro, even though, we know how that worked out. But I enjoyed him too. He was a fun character.
Yeah, that must get you sometimes when you get into a character and really want to take them to the furthest you can, and then somebody says, by the way, they're dying off tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you adjust for that? Just it is
You
what it
don't.
is? You don't?
No, because you can't. It can't be in your voice.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go out how they need to go out.
Right.
And so you don't want to like add that into the voice.
Then you throw in there, but I didn't want him to die.
Right. Then you'd have like constantly your characters like hesitating.
Yeah. I'm supposed to die now, but I don't want to.
I'm still alive?
Yeah. Hey, good to see you again. Yeah, how you doing?
Hi, Johnny. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, you got the mic.
I know I'm supposed to have one question, but my question actually has two sides to it. Side A is, I don't know if you were aware about our live action movies or TV series that you've been in, like Bleach or One Piece, or if you've seen them.
The live action for Bleach, yeah.
Yeah.
I voiced Ichigo in that.
Yeah, well, side A is like, I want to know your opinion of it. Like, how do you feel about those characters? Like, the way they made those stuff.
The live action?
Yeah, like when that you're in it, but the way they done it with the Japanese, how they made it to today.
Well, I mean, it depends. I actually enjoyed the Bleach one. I haven't seen the One Piece one, but I heard it's pretty
It's
good.
on Netflix.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm watching a lot of
They're
stuff.
all over
Come on.
Netflix.
I'm only one guy. It's very few hours in the day. We gotta watch as much as most stuff I watch actually is on the plane flying somewhere. That's when I like load up, whatever movies or shows and try to catch up on things. But then I messed up because I didn't like when you download stuff, they expire after a while. I didn't do that, and I got on the plane. I'm like, oh man, all my stuff is expired. But I enjoyed Bleach. I don't mind them. I mean, sometimes they're like, what are you even doing? Like, what was, I don't want to talk bad about any of them, but there was one I saw that I was like, what in the world are they doing here? They're not even like looking at the source material. They're not even trying. Like, I get it if you're taking a series and you're trying to make a movie, it's going to be harder. You're going to like have to cut some things out. I get that. That's fine. As long as you're staying true to the heart of the story, and you can make adjustments here and there. But here's a simple one. Like the original was a Dragon Ball, that live action Dragon Ball. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, I have it.
Evolution.
Yeah.
Yes,
I heard they're making
that.
another
Yeah,
one.
that
I'm
was
trying
like-
not to. But
Exactly, right?
Yeah, I heard they're making another
With
one.
Chow Yun Fat on there, man, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Chow Yun Fat's gonna be in it? Sweet.
Yeah.
Nope.
And
swing and a miss.
Just was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
side B.
I didn't even really know Dragon Ball that much at the time, and I knew that this is bad. I didn't know. I'm like, this is definitely, if this is what the show is, why is it popular?
Yeah.
Okay. And side B is there's
we didn't get a
Turbo.
side B.
Two sides. He gets a side B in a
It's
minute.
about Turbo, the series.
Uh-huh.
In one of the episodes,
Power
called-
Rangers? Turbo?
Power Rangers
Yeah.
Turbo. Yeah. In one of the episodes called "The Big Lie,"
Uh-huh.
is where Justin gets hit with that beam and he lies, and the Piranhatron shows up.
Uh-huh.
There was a scene you did where the Piranhatron just one-on-one battle, and you went like, "Look, it's Elvis," and then you did something to your knee. You did like this, and then you did the sweep. You did the sweep.
Uh-huh.
Did you really hurt your leg, or was that the director told you to do that?
Did I hurt my leg in the show?
Yeah, like
Then it was
you
fake.
had to put your
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if they told you to do
Nah,
that.
I mean, I didn't. Yeah, I think I hurt myself like one time in Power Rangers, and that was in the first season.
All right.
Oh, what happened?
Just over-rotated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the stunt guys were throwing me, and I was supposed to, as they're throwing me from the legs, right? So I was down like this, and they
Yeah.
throw me up. So I'm on the ground, and they throw my legs up, and then I have to do a backflip. And so when I did it, I did it a few times, but like one time I over-rotated, and then I just hyperextended. It wasn't like anything super crazy. but-
Well, thank you, Johnny, and I want to say thank you for being playing as Joshua in my favorite Trails of Cold Steel games. Thank you so much, and
Thank
Persona
you.
5.
Yeah. Thanks for playing. I mean, look, guys, I have to say, like, I appreciate you guys so much. If it doesn't sound like it, I need you guys to know that I would not be here if you guys didn't watch or play or
Yeah.
any of this stuff.
Well,
Like,
you're a download in Persona 5. You're a download from Part 4.
I'm a download for part 4.
Yeah, you're you from Part
That's-
4.
That's weird to hear. You're a
Getting
download. Oh
downloaded
my
later.
goodness.
In a battle.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am.
So you were in the show Life Lessons with Uramichi Nissan. A very funny show. What do you
Yes.
think is?
Oh yeah, that's the dude. Yeah. Okay. I always forget the name of that one. That's the one with the guy. He's got like black hair. He's long. He's a bit crazy, right?
Yeah.
Huh? Yes, I think that's his name. Yes. I gotta look it up because it was a while ago when we worked on it, but I remember like sorry, I cut you off, but I was trying to remember what it was called because I forgot that I worked on it, and then I remember pulling up clips of it. I think it's on Crunchyroll, isn't it?
It is on
Yeah.
Crunchyroll.
Yeah, and then so I started watching a little bit of it and thinking like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot how nuts the character is. But super, I remember it though. It was a good time. I remember the character.
That's good. So what do you think is one of the most relatable parts of that show? Since you're watching the show.
Well, I mean, if anything, like for my character especially, like there have been many times where I had been working on something and whatever it is like almost pointless. Like, why am I even doing this work? And you get frustrated, right? And or something's going on in the world, right? Like, I think there's a moment where his chair wasn't working right, and he had to kicked it or something like, you know, and he just goes crazy. Yeah, we've all been there where we can't like, you know, things are just not going right, and you explode. He was always on the verge of exploding, and then a couple times we do see him explode, which it makes it's just funny scenarios. Yeah, but I did watch a little bit, like other clips, and I need to watch the whole thing because it seemed really funny.
Oh yeah, it is really funny. It's basically like, you know, he's the show of a television.
Yeah.
He's on a show. He's the host. He's basically the Steve.
Yeah.
But it's the
And there's toys and
there's
stuff like
toys, and
that.
You're in charge of the toys.
Right,
and the
like I'm in
toy
charge
guy.
of toys, and they're ridiculous, and I call him in to help because I'm super annoyed and somewhat angry. Yeah.
I also, as far as Demon Slayer goes, we see that Gyu doesn't really fit in with the other Hashira for some reason. Why do you think that is? That he doesn't fit into their clique?
You know what? I don't want to spoil it.
I know.
Yeah, don't do that.
But
Okay,
I'll
don't
just
spoil
say
it,
that,
yeah.
I'll just say, he's doing the best he can. He doesn't feel like he deserves to be there.
He's a lone wolf.
Yeah. He doesn't feel like he deserves where he's at, but he's doing everything he can
He's a lone
to be,
wolf.
you know.
Do you have a preference, live action, voiceover? Do you ever get that?
Both.
Oh yeah, you know, like
I like it both.
both, yeah.
For different reasons.
Uh-huh.
Voiceover, you can show up in your pajamas.
That's awesome.
As long as it's like somewhat clothed.
Yeah.
Or unless you're in your own booth. But and also if you're scheduled for a time, like if I'm scheduled from 8 to 1 o'clock on something, I work 8 to 1 o'clock. I'll have a couple breaks here and there, but there's not a lot of sitting around.
Sure.
Live action or on camera stuff, you'll show up early, you'll get your wardrobe on, then you'll wait a little bit, then you'll go get makeup on, then you wait a little bit, and then you go inside, and once they got the lights set up, then you rehearse, then block things out, and then you go wait a little bit, then they call you in, all right, we're gonna shoot, and then you go. And so it's a lot of waiting around. And then for a short amount of time, unless you're doing, an action or whatever. But usually it's a pretty short amount of time, and then you're go back, wait around while they reset or move to a different spot, and then same sort of thing. You just
No, you being a Texas guy, Garland, a little bit of a Texas pride, knowing that Dallas is kind of a hub now for voiceover work.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that just a few months ago. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Have you visited there and all that stuff, or
Have I been?
You just helped them out or get them going,
I helped them all out to get. I helped Funimation
it was
become
all you,
where they
right?
were.
But just to know that Texas,
You're welcome, Funimation and Crunchyroll.
but just to know that Texas now, it's kind of a
It totally
it's
is.
a
Yeah,
destination.
Funimation was there for a long time, and I don't know all how things worked, business-wise and all that, but yeah, Crunchyroll, and it's all there now. They have studios there, a lot of actors there. They acquire a lot of projects, and so sometimes the projects that I've been attached to before, they'll call me in for.
And you've been to that Dallas?
Yeah, I've been.
you've
I sometimes they'll
Yeah.
fly me in if it's like if it's like super top secret and they can't have it out. That will happen. Otherwise, they'll let me either record from my own studio or I'll go into a studio that's in LA.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hello. So in Persona 4, you voiced the main character, and my question is specifically for the animation, because...
And Adachi.
And Adachi, yes, of course.
In fact, I only thought I was voicing Adachi.
That brings me to that question for you, because in the animation, he kind of starts off more stoic like he is in the video game, and then as it kind of goes on, he kind of opens more out of his shell. I was wanting to ask how you felt the process, or like the emotions kind of coming more stoic into the more open you, or if there was a process of how those emotions kind of felt.
Well, the thing is this is a long one. Let's see. It's complicated. Sorry. So with the game, when I first worked on the games first, obviously. So I did the game. I voiced Adachi. I only thought I was voicing Adachi. And then when we were about to wrap up, I thought I was going to go home early. And they said, hey, so as soon as we're done with Adachi, we're going to have you voice the protagonist. And I was like, oh, okay. What does he sound like? And it's kind of similar tone, And I was like, is it the same actor? Like, no. I was like, oh. And so now I'm really like, I don't have my voice is pretty distinct, So it's a little like I had to have to really affect it, but I didn't do that going into it. So now I'm like, oh boy, I just used up my range, and now I gotta figure out where this protagonist needs to sit. But thankfully they're like, oh, don't worry, it's just grunts and call outs and you're gonna shout stuff. So I put him down low and I gruffed him up, and then I just left him in that space. And it was fine. But then more games come out and he's talking more, and then of course when the anime comes out, I'd be talking to myself. And I'm like, how are we going to do this? And so at first I asked, can we replace me and I'll just do one of them? No, was the answer to that. And so I was like, all right, well, I have to like separate them because it's going to be too weird if I'm doing the same tone, you know, it's just not going to sound right. So yeah, and the good thing was that his character is kind of pretty flat, you know, in the beginning, which kind of made him funny, you know, and then I separated, since if he's going to live in this space down here, then I'm going to put Adachi in this space here, and then that way I can. If he goes up, then I can also adjust him up as, you know, Adachi starts to become crazy or whatnot. So there's still that, you know, so that it would kind of work together, if that makes any sense. It was a little tricky, but yeah, we had basically I went through one character at a time.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And then whenever I did the characters in scene, we would look at it and go, let me adjust this one a little further. Let me take this one this direction so that it wouldn't sound like I'm just talking to myself.
Does that happen often where you
Do I talk to myself? Yeah, all the time. All the time, especially when I'm driving.
That must be where you're probably practicing your role and your lines and your car.
It depends. Sometimes I do warm-ups when I'm driving and stuff, and that's kind of weird.
But has also that ever happened where you're there and you're like, okay, yeah, you're done, but now we need you to do this, like just on the fly?
Yeah, well, I mean, now I come prepared. Like after that,
Yeah.
I'm like, I usually have like a handful, or I'll ask.
Right.
Am I voicing anyone else? No. Okay. Because you have a range, you know, and some people have like a really crazy range, and it's like, well, okay, is it going to be a cartoony thing? And it's like, no, if it's not cartoony, then that eliminates like a bunch of characters. You know, and so if I can't make cartoon voices, has to sound real, then, well, there's a smaller window,
Okay.
you know.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, we got a few more minutes here. Let's get them going.
So my favorite role that you did was Kaneda in Akira. That's like my top 4 on Letterboxd, and I have all the collecty thingies.
Yeah?
So I just want to know, like, how was it like how was like working with Wendy Lee, and how did, because I know there was like a dub before, so like how did they?
Yeah. This was, in fact, I had seen that one, the Streamline dub, and I enjoyed it. You know, I remember watching that anime, and it was insane. I was like, what is this? You know, it was super crazy. It was like I was watching Popeye and Tom and Jerry, and then suddenly I'm watching like this show or this film called Akira, and it's violent and dark, and it was wild. It was really cool. I didn't understand certain things, like there's points where I was like, I don't get what's happening here. Like there was a moment where he destroys his friend's bike, like crashes it and it explodes into fire, and I'm like, why did he do that? It was a perfectly good bike. And so I didn't understand it. But then, and then Akira, when I got to voice it, this was like maybe the 3rd project that I'd ever worked on. So still very new to the industry and super scared, but really excited to be voicing.
That was really good for your
Kaneda. I had a great director. I knew the story, but what was really interesting was we had notes from the original Japanese director, who didn't like some of the translation that was done in the other dub. He felt like it changed the story too much, which, you know, they maybe did that for censorship or whatever reason, right? And so when we got to do it, we got to kind of open it up back to what, you know, it was supposed to be. And things like when Kaneda revs that bike up and he crashes and blows the bike, I was like, why am I doing that? And it's because, like, traditionally, I guess you would burn items in their culture so that that person could have that item in the afterlife. And so then I was like, that's much cooler now. He's not just destroying a bike, he's sending it to his friend. Like, what a cool, like, story that is, you know? So there are a lot of things like that made more sense to me going that time through, but I did enjoy it. And thank you so much for watching it. I'm just thankful to be a part of that one for sure. And I keep hearing rumors that they might do a series on it or something. And
live action movie.
I do hear a lot of I mean, back when DiCaprio had it or something for a while, and he was going to do it. I think now is the time when they could do it, you know, because the computer, you know, the graphics and all that stuff, they can do so many things now that look amazing. I'd be a little afraid, but you know, but that one so many people know, so I think there'd be a good chance of doing it right.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We got time just for one more question. Here will be our last question. So all on you.
All right. Hi. So I had heard, I guess you could call it like a rumor online that in the Danganronpa V3 demo that you had forgotten how to voice Hajime, so he sounds a little bit strange in comparison to your work in SDR2. And I was just curious about that, and I wanted to.
Did he forget? No.
Yeah, I remember every character I do. There had been some time, and usually what they do is they play you a reference for the character. And the thing with it is like, even when I first worked on Danganronpa, I remember it was just DG2. I didn't know the name of the game. So I didn't even know, I worked on it, and then it wasn't until I went to a convention and it had been out for a while, and somebody brought it to my table and asked me to sign this thing, and I tried to read it, I can't even read that. It's like, I don't think I'm in that. And they're like, no, you're in that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not in this. No, you're in this. I'm like, look, I know what I'm in. I'm not in this. And they're like, they showed me on YouTube, and I was like, oh, what's your name? And then I had to look it up, and I was like, what is it? And then I was like, oh, that's right. Okay, so some of the games we work on are top secret. So it had been some time, and I do remember thinking that, so they play your voice ref of the character when you go in, so that you know exactly where you're supposed to be voice-wise. I think the ref they played me was from earlier on in the game, because earlier on in the game, it sounds a little younger. There's certain things where he's not as because you hear this aggression, the voice adjusts a little bit when he becomes, I guess, more comfortable, in his space and whatnot, No, that's wrong, or whatever, right? So it's a little different. So the voice ref they played me was from earlier on, so that's what I had to match. The other thing is, I'm voicing another character. And so it's like, well, it's gonna sound like, it's sort of the same situation where you kind of have to separate the character. So the voice ref I got did sound a bit younger. But that made it so much easier for me to put Rantaro where he was. I didn't forget, I was playing a ref, and it was a very specific ref, and that's what I went off of, yeah.
Awesome, thank you so much. Also, your work in Danganronpa, just as a franchise, not just the games, but the animation and then V3 as well, has absolutely changed my life, and it wouldn't be the same without you. So just
thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. I got to say the same thing. I really do appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much again for watching the shows. Again, I would not be here if you weren't here and you didn't watch them. Thank you guys. I love you guys. If you didn't get a chance to ask a question, I'll be back at my table here in a little bit. But thank you guys. You guys have a great and wonderful weekend.